That's a quick summary. On being non-white, can we ignore what isn't right when it's been wrong 400 years? To kill or maim, to show our might, survivors left to drown in tears? How could forebears not realize how inhumane it was to see the evil dance before their eyes, yet take no steps to disagree? They understand that they are free, but seldom find equality. The opportunities for whites in education, jobs, and health are often called their human rights that open doors to gaining wealth. For non-whites, things are not the same. They often hear that same old song with attitudes that should hold shame, but just imply you don't belong. They understand that they are free, but seldom find equality. In uniform, they fought with pride, but now a uniform means fear. Police will pull non-whites aside as if non-whites pose threats severe. For many, faith renews their strength, and hope says wrongs may still be right. For love, they'll go to any length in prayer to make their future bright. They understand that they are free, but seldom find equality.
Thank you, Ed. For those of you that don't know, in addition to the other brief introduction Ed made, he has a wonderful book that he published, authored and published, about how to write in various different forms of poetic verse. So I think that's available on Amazon, isn't it, Ed?
I think so. I'm not sure, though, if it's still there.
Okay, well, it's
I can get copies.
So you Lull, Edward W. Lull, and you can check on Amazon for poetic forms, and if not, get in touch with Ed. He's on the roster for the Eastern Virginia region of PSV. Thank you so much. Anne.
Hello again. So this one, yes, the main reason I chose it is that my husband likes it, and perhaps others also sometimes muse on ancestors and the unknown. And I changed the title a little. It's now called In the Cemetery. So in the cemetery, sun's light is filtered by the trees. It warms the pitted gravestones while the silence calms. He always wanted to be buried here, beside his ancestors, revered and dear. Today the grave was made and service said. I walk behind the spot among the dead, and wonder if his spirit might have shared this somber day with us, for whom he cared. New feeling seems to grace the simmering air, a heady happiness, a soul laid bare till only wisdom solved in love remains. I move away at peace, the presence wanes. Does grief create a moment such as this, or has another world revealed its bliss? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anne. I hesitate to ask, do you want to reveal for whom this poem, or about whom this poem was written?
Well, I guess since my husband is the one who likes it, you might guess it was his father.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing it. I think that one of the places that really struck me is only wisdom salved in love. That's amazing, that turn of phrase.
Thank you.
Laura.
Here is your comedic relief again.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I need it.
You mentioned age. I might be the oldest poet here. I'm in my 92nd year. And I've enjoyed a profession as a storyteller. and of interest to the poets you may enjoy. On my website, I have put 49 fairy stories from the 15th century into narrative verse. But to get to this poem, it's called The Workaholic. 8 hours a day are sufficient for some. For the poor workaholic, they're not. What makes him persist till his brain cells are numb? He was never a playful young tot. His brow's deeply furrowed with lines Kafkaesque. He's a Grinch at the end of the day. But he wouldn't have projects all over his desk if only he'd learned how to play. Be relieved if your child is untrammeled and free. Do not fear the ensuing result. One day he'll grow up, and with luck he will be a blissfully lazy adult.
Thank you so much, Laura. What can one say? I see myself in this, so I got a triple laugh out of it. Once for the poem itself, and once at myself, and once for how other people probably see me. Jill Winkowski.
Jill is no longer here, so
Okay.
it's going on to Eric Forsbergh.
Okay, well, no, I'll read her poem. We might,
okay.
It's on the slideshow, and I'm a female, so I will do the best I can with this, having read it several times before. So this is called Airbnb Bridgewater, and I don't know if this is autobiographical or not, so I won't say it is. That was owned by a professor with whom I communicated by app and almost came to friendship with, despite the rather minimal interactions in the little town we walked in the morning after Old Crow and the Rockingham County Fair. You slept in one room, me in another, and there was a toaster, little jams, a coffee maker. We were dry as a bone, and still, you tried out that local guitar maker. We ate fried fish, shook the hand of the gubernatorial candidates, one whose first name was Jill and had driven through the same storm I had the other day, the gushing rain. She in Williamsburg, me on Patrick Henry Drive, such a coincidence, and oh, the thunder. In the morning, the crust of morning, the gel of grass, the hardened muscles. Remember, I had slept on that four-poster, climbed up in, and when the next morning came and the sun was shining, I opened the door and you were there. They have told us to stay home. And on this stunning evening, it's okay. I've opened my window and the cool evening air is drifting in on its sparkling carpet. The sun, that is the last of it, cascading into my room, plucked up on its edges by the birds' evening songs. This solitude knows no controversy, but back to our morning, I remember counting the bricks, smelling the broken pavement, walking around as strangers in the neighborhood, families unsuspecting, peeking out their bay windows wondering, who is she? And I just want to emphasize for the purpose of the recording that I am not Jill Winkowski. She had to leave us, so I read her poem for her. Thank you, Jill.
Good reading. Good reading.
Thank you, Ed. Eric.
So this is based on a Northern Virginia poet that I know, and it's also a blend with my sister who lives on a farm in Kentucky. But anyway, these two women both love farm machinery. I was raised on a farm, and so I love farm machinery myself. This woman was absolutely attached to her chipper, and she could hardly wait for the time to get back when she had strength to lift up that thing and use it after recovering from breast cancer. And this is her story. AJ and the chipper. A mangler for sure, and it's all hers. Gulps branches, shrubs, brush, metastasizing roots. Spews chips at high speed, a rattle growl pounding air. Now past breast cancer, her strength again jacks up the welded bell mouth. She reconnects to sense of smell in clouds of cedar shreds. Sweat sparkles from her earlobes, diamond-like. It streaks her farm work walnut hands, seeps along the crisscross threads of neckline tan. She hauls that beast everywhere, iron posted to her tractor hitch, to the neighbors, up the lane, past the ruminant cattle. She grins, "I'll mulch your top field, Frank. I need 3 oak timbers from you anyway." By the time the sun drops pace, her chipper squats in the dark barn, steel greased to go. Across a shorn lawn, sunset claws of trees insinuate toward the bright house. Striding in, she pulls the front door tight against the latch. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Obviously you probably did the metastasizing roots on purpose.
Yeah.
Did you do that, unconsciously and then consciously realize it, or did you specifically construct it that way?
No, I planned it. I had used it later at the bottom and decided to move it back up to the front as sort of a method of foreshadowing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we poets are known for editing and re-editing and changing a minor word here or there. Thank you so much, Eric. Hood?
Yes, thank you. This poem won the Writer's Eye contest that was in Charlottesville at the Bailey Museum. And it's an ekphrastic poem. It's based on the raising of Lazarus by the artist Alfred Leslie in 1975. Lazarus Rising. Past the light, the stretch of trees that leads to his house, past the doorway to the room his sisters keep alive with their incense of tears, he comes like a crow, eyeing these shiny emblems of his life. In shadows 3 days, he watches his sisters drifting in rooms as if upon water, till on the 3rd day, they're almost transparent, flat, something he could put his hand through. By the 4th day, it is uninhabitable. He cannot remember why he has come or why light hurts his skin so, or what the settling of dark birds mean. Motes move through him, but not God. Evening bleeds to the horizon. Women's voices move around him, an insistent Zerika that will not cease. A man wearing white comes, then leaves again. His hand burns. The light burns. Something he has known. A distant whisper, then moving, passing the branches, the stone by the tomb's door, a luminescence. When he awakens from that second sleep, bandaged in what he could remember, a dream of falling in which the air itself had become a seam of light, an insect humming close but would not leave. He first heard the voice of God, an indecipherable whisper, over and over in his ear. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hood. One of the things that I noticed in reading this in my head and then aloud portions is the sibilance of this poem. A lot of this poem is made for whispering, and it sounds like a whisper.
Thank you.